as I mentioned, you're the first guest on my podcast who is not Chinese.
Yep.
So I'm so curious about your thoughts on some of those questions. And I'm sure you will bring some different perspectives. I know your story, but for the audience, could you just talk a little bit about yourself? Like, when did you come to the US and how did you make the decision?
Sure, yeah. I came to the US in 2005. I studied electrical engineering in Turkey before. And I came here, the main reason was to do my master's, basically. So, and we met, I think, the next day after I came to the US. That was the orientation at George Mason University. And it has been 20 years, right, that we know each other.
Please don't remind me that. I'm trying to forget about it.
So, initially, I thought, like, I'm coming to the US for only 2 years. I'll study and go back to Turkey afterwards. And later on, I learned about this OPT, different opportunities, basically, that we can use to gain more experience, with working in the US. So I was like, let me take advantage of that too. And, things kept coming one after another, and then before you know it, since 2005, I have been living in the US and I'm pretty much in this area, in Virginia. So time flies before you know it. So this is just like a quick, it was for education reasons, basically. Initially, I came to the US.
I see. Okay, then let's go back to 20 years, like 2005. During the first few years, what surprised you most? What is so different from what you expected? Anything?
So let me think about it. I mean, there were definitely, multiple different challenges that I experienced in the, the very first time I came here. One of them we experienced together, actually. Not having a car is a big thing in the US, right? So it's outside a certain area, then your options are pretty limited to experience that, and it really limits your social life as well. Once you don't have a car, anything that you do in the daily life. So that was a real, initial challenge that I experienced initially.
Was language a difficult problem for you?
I think language is always, right, once you have an accent, the very first question you get is, where are you from? Initially when I first came to the US, I thought it's not a problem. I'm just talking to everyone and everyone understands me. And apparently that wasn't the case. People are nice. They don't say it, once they don't understand something. But I was a teaching assistant, as you know, the first semester at school. And after the semester, each student is giving evaluations, right? How.
Okay, really?
Yeah, they do. And they are just telling you how good how well you did with teaching that, specific lab session or class. And I remember multiple students wrote, her English improved a lot, in the past couple of months. So that tells me, initially, it was that good, maybe. People had some difficulty to understand me. But later on, it's better.
The first semester, this was already pretty good job. You did a pretty good job. You got good reviews. I was surprised the students are so nice.
Maybe that was them being nice.
I expected you to say you got not good scores or something.
No, they just mentioned that, English, the language getting better over time. So
okay, yeah. Wow, I wasn't even thinking about the accent or something. Well, we always have accents. It's the first first semester, first a few years actually, it's just for you to communicate effectively with your classmates or your professors. That was a challenge for me actually. Maybe because I'm not in the science field. The social science, you have a lot of talking to do.
Exactly, yeah.
So that was the biggest challenge. But yeah, I didn't even think about the accent actually.
Yep, I agree. It's a lot more discussion-oriented classes, I would think, that you guys had. So for us, obviously you ask when you have questions and everything during the class, but it's not a lot of discussions going on. So yeah.
Okay. How did you find your first job? Was that easy? I know we graduated about the same time. I think I so focused on my work. So it was a very difficult period for me. How about you? How did you find your first job?
So actually, at the time, it felt like it was a difficult. It was difficult to find a job. Now, when I look back, it was actually a smooth process, I would say. But if you ask the person, 20 years ago, how the job search process was, I was stressed out. I was thinking, oh, it's just too difficult. One difficulty that's coming is, I wasn't a US citizen at the time, right? I was under F1 visa. And being an engineer is good to find a job quickly, but in the DC area, since many of the companies are working for the government, the citizenship requirement is mostly there. So to kind of find a job that doesn't have that requirement, that was the difficult part. But again, for me, things went smoothly. But until my full-time job was finalized with my first company, then it was stressful, oh, what should I do? Should I go back to Turkey? Should I stay here? Should I apply for new jobs? So that was kind of this in-between period that I was in. Yeah.
So at work, is that something? Is there anything that's very surprising to you, or do you think that's very different in American companies versus? I don't know whether you know a lot about work in Turkey, because I know you were at school in Turkey.
Yeah.
So did you face any challenges to adjust?
Right. So. Challenges, I would say there was still one big challenge was, during my master's, I was thinking, okay, there were really few Americans in the classes. It was mostly Indian and Chinese students. With the engineering, I think it was another adjustment. It's with mostly Americans, working with them and understanding how things are being handled at work and the expectations from the projects and all those. And I think there's a big difference between cultures in the sense that Americans are I think they give a lot of credit if you do something good. You just they give a lot of credit to you, which is nice. But they give a lot of credit to themselves too. Once they do something, right? It's kind of different. This entire self-confidence and being involved in things, owning what you're doing, those are some important qualities. I feel all the different jobs that I had helped me to gain along the way. Yeah.
Well, it's funny you mentioned this. Americans, they they give you a lot of credits, and then they also take a lot of credits for themselves. Yes, that's something I heard a lot from other conversations too. It's like I don't know about Turkey, but in the Chinese culture, we value like you do things, not talk a lot. And sometimes, but that doesn't work in the U.S. That's a challenge to a lot of Chinese immigrants. It's because we tend to be quiet. But it's very hard to survive if you're too quiet in the American companies.
It's a completely different culture. People like you need to not just do it, but like tell people, show people that you did it. So that's
nobody would know if you don't tell them. How did you realize that? Like, when do you have to force yourself to talk more at work?
I think that's how I realized. It wasn't mostly like, someone else took credit. No, like I was always given the credit. I don't think that was the issue. But I was... in the meetings, I was more thinking, okay, like maybe, sitting with all these smart people in the room, they don't need my opinion. Maybe they are just handling it themselves. So let me just like keep my opinions to myself. And over time, I learned that that's not the way, like you are being invited to a meeting because people also want to listen to your opinions. Because that, teamwork is really valued here, right? So it's not, like individual success, but, like how you are contributing in a team setting. So I think like over time, I slowly, share my opinion more. That was a intentional effort. And I think initially the holdback is more like, you're gonna be judged, like once you share your opinion, that's kind of, and then you get over that, right? Because you see that, like it's like no question is a bad question. There's no kind of this, I guess you're gonna.
I heard a lot that there's no silly questions, but sometimes there are silly questions. Big because I have to overcome that. I'm still in the process of overcoming that. It's
right. But I think it's more like it's more like after a point. Yes, there are silly questions, but I don't care. You say like your opinion on that. If it's a silly question, if I need to ask it, I should ask it. Like because it's obviously needed for my clarification of things. So I think that's kind of like changing the perspective, at least for me. Kind of like contributing more to the discussion going on in the meeting. So
I think it's because you have become more self-confident. So you believe your questions, this is the questions I need to clarify. So I feel comfortable asking it. But maybe for like younger people, like they're not comfortable with asking questions. They're still seeking for improvement, or it would be hard for them to ask a question.
True. I think it's a process that everyone, like goes through and then come to a certain understanding about how they should, like what is a better way for them to be more useful for the company, what's a more efficient way to handle the job. But as you were also saying, it's a totally different, like cultural shift.
So you also compared like how you work in this American company versus at a school. Most of your classmates were like international students. That's a different environment. And that's also something we heard a lot. Like sometimes with Americans, I don't know how you feel, but sometimes I don't no, I cannot join their conversation very easily, especially during happy hours or something, because they talk about the movie they watched when they were young, or the books, all the American things.
Right.
So it is, for me, I think it is easier to have a conversation with international students or people. So the first generation, we have something similar. I don't know whether you have that experience, or do you think was that easy for you to fit in?
So initially, I think that small talk, right, like with people talking about weather, like your plans for the weekend and all those. It's something I think that you need to get used to. Over time, it's not like immediately coming to you. And same as like what you're saying, if you're not too exposed to the culture in the first place with the movies, like maybe a scene that everyone knows, everyone watched that movie, and they are just like referring to that scene in their jokes, and like you're blank at the time. So those things were happening a lot more initially. Now, obviously, after this many years, it's just it's going mostly away. I'm still not a binge watcher, and I don't watch a lot of TV shows.
I don't either.
Right? And some people, they can follow like 8-10 of them simultaneously. I'm like, it's hard to understand how they are doing it, like for those kind of things, obviously, like I have.
It is. I just remember like there was some party at work. They do some kind of games.
Yeah.
Like it's just there was a song, and everybody guessed what's the name of the song. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know any of them.
Yeah, I wouldn't know that either.
So that wasn't a fun party for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's usually those, like icebreaker things, right? It's supposed to, like get people to each other.
Yeah, to me it's not icebreaker. It makes it more solid.
Yeah. That's funny, actually.
For opportunities, for promotions, do you think you get all the opportunities at work you deserve, or do you have to fight for it? Do you need to take initiative more? Like, do you need to force yourself to be more American and be more proactive?
I think that question is not necessarily like American, or and I also, like I feel as Turkish American, Chinese American, like we are pretty much, like a part of the culture here too. But I feel like there's an issue with like women at work instead of, like whether it's an American thing or not. At least this is the way I'm feeling, like as we all know, women, there's this like you need to push more to get what you deserve at work. It's not like given to you immediately, especially in the tech field. There's like less women. I'm not too much, like from the time that I was studying in college, my master's, PhD, all of those, just like maybe 2, at most 3 women in the, I'm just in the class. I'm just so used to it. So I don't even pay attention to those kind of things now. But once you think about it, it's mostly, like in the meetings, it's all men in the higher positions and all that. So it is for women, and there is some bias against women too, even though maybe some more like in the subconscious, even though people say that, oh, I don't have any bias, but they may have, like they would choose another guy instead of you for the promotion and those kind of things. So I think it's always the same, and I'm just like being aware of that too, and if needed, if I feel like I deserve something, I have to be more like mention that and push for that sometimes. So yeah.
I think maybe because I have reached the middle age, so this is kind of the topics I have been thinking a lot. So yeah, first of all, like in this past 20 years, have you experienced anything about discrimination or prejudice or stereotype related to the first generation immigrants?
Right. So for work, I think like you need to work harder maybe to prove yourself because you're coming from a different country, initially with a different education, like later on you're also getting your degrees here too. But I think for people to, and you see like all, like little things as an opportunity given to you, and then you need to, like prove yourself that, you can do it. So I think it was a lot of hard working in the first place to kind of trying to eliminate that, like any potential bias that people might have with your skill set, whether you can achieve a certain task, those kind of things. I think it's more like the pressure that one puts on herself.
Okay.
Instead of, now when I look back, maybe that wasn't such expectation. So,
you expect too much from yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So that may be it too. People value other people's opinions more in Turkey, and here maybe it's not much of a thing, and people are more open in the US what they like and what they don't like, what is their expectation from you, and I think culturally some of the things like are being hidden in Turkey. Like maybe I cannot tell you my expectations, what I prefer openly, thinking that you're gonna be upset at the time. But then that creates other problems later on. So there are those kind of differences. I think people are more straightforward here. If they don't want something, they say it. They don't expect other people to read their mind, like, she should have thought that I wouldn't be happy with this type of thing. So that's what I'm thinking mostly in the
US.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, at first I thought that, but then I realized Americans are not that direct.
Do you think so?
As I expected, is because maybe, I don't know, sometimes I observed people talk very nicely to each other, and then they'd say something really different behind their back. And then when they want to ask something, they don't say it directly. And I have to think, that's what they ask.
Okay. So I should also maybe I'm sure a lot of that is happening like here too. But I feel like it's less. Maybe it's more like in the family setting, or like very close relationships type of. But in the daily life or work environment, I feel like they're more open. And also another part that I would like to mention, it's in the tech field, right?
That was I was going to say.
Yeah, so
totally different.
There are not, which I enjoy being part of this too. There are not a lot of politics involved, like with many things. People can be, obviously, like once your position gets higher, that's inevitable. It's like, everyone does that. But to a certain level, you don't need to worry about that. Since you're in social science, that may be different.
Yeah, I feel like the different kind of area or industries, that will be totally different experience. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't know whether you feel the same thing or not. Sometimes, maybe not because in a different country, just because we're older now, it's difficult to make friends.
Yep.
It's at least for the first few years, I feel like it's just the friends here are quite different from the friends I had in China. Not including you.
It's good.
It's just hard you don't have a lot of opportunities to be there with your friends in the US, I guess. It's just maybe some happy hours, you met per person, you talk to them, but the conversation never get into anything really interesting or really rewarding conversation. So it's it's a feel different. I don't know whether you feel the same way or you have other experience.
Yeah, so I agree with you. I think to have a more, meaningful friendship, you need to spend more time, and everyone is so busy that, you have a hard time to find those opportunities, and it's the same for me too. Mostly, I have a good circle of friends that I a smaller circle that I always keep in touch and see them more often, but to include new people to your life, it's a little bit harder with age. And I'm guessing it's the same for you too, with having 2 kids and everything, you already have a busy life, right? So to create those spaces, it's even harder, same for me too. It's just, it's definitely harder, but I don't know whether it is, more like the cultural thing, or as you're saying, with just aging, that is kind of like the natural, how things go. So yeah.
I think we talked about it yesterday. My social life now is limited to the parents of my kids' friends. It's just because that's how you meet people and how you have time to talk. And
Exactly, because now you're not only thinking yourself, but you need to make sure that your kids are also entertaining, in the social gatherings too. So that's but I think going back to the friends that you had earlier, I agree with you. It's you spent more time, obviously, for us too, we know each other from many years ago. It's not always keeping in touch and seeing each other, but we know what is going on in each other's lives, and then it's not hard to just keep going whenever we see each other. So those are important. Well, we should make more time for each other. Thinking about this past 20 years, what are the achievements you're most proud of, and what has been the most significant change? What have you changed? But I think overall being more confident about your decisions, that's one thing that I learned over time. And also not being stressed out about like smaller things. Because really I think this is kind of like part of aging too. As long as your health is good, like anything else, you can change, you can put things in a different direction if you're not happy with things. Sometimes we are just like too much, buried in our own problems, but it's always good to look a little bit to the bigger picture and not be too much overwhelmed with the smaller things that may or may not be going right in your life at the time. So I think that's kind of like the bigger thing.
That's amazing. I think it's easier to say, have even more self-confidence or not stressed out about the small things. But I know this takes a while. It takes a process to get there.
Exactly. And I'm not saying that I'm always doing it, but at least I'm keeping that in mind. Maybe just a reminder to myself, I would say, first of all, if it is not important for me in the next 6 months, don't even worry. If it's important, if it's something big, it will change things in the long run, then do the most educated decision that you can make at a given time. Obviously, this is more easier with the work related stuff. With the personal, with the relationships and all those, it's more difficult to obviously be this much, logical and, I'll do the right thing type of thing. But at least just a reminder to ourselves. So.
I was trying to find this. That's why I don't know why this is the first picture on my cloud.
We went to, yes, I have this photo too. This is so cute.
Look at me.
I don't remember you this way, but now when I look at you, then look at me.
You don't look like
all the cookies that I eat shows on my face.
That's not the fat. That's a baby fat because I was young.
I guess so. It's part of that too.